Well, hello there. I know I'm not the guy you usually see people on this game making videos about, and for good reason. That being, reason being that I'm not a depth player really in any sort of big way. I haven't played for too long. I mean, I have, but I don't really have any hours. I only have just above 100 hours, and I've been quite recently deeply interested into the game. But like you just as you've seen on the title, yes, the company Digital Confectioners has sold the IP to Ammobox Studio, I believe, which they only have one game, which is fairly well rated and reviewed. But it's just one game, and they have said that they wanted to buy the IP because I don't know if they bought it or if they just got it for free. I have no idea. But anyway, they got the IP and they said that they wouldn't just take it and let it sit. They said that they wanted to make content with it and maybe even turn it from U3 to U5, which graphically would be insane, but also performance issues and all that. It's stuff that has been talked about already for quite some time. Yeah, feel free to join their Discord as well. That also means that depth might make a comeback eventually, as long as the balance is still not too terrible, I guess. Because honestly, people just always complained on that game. People always complained about like the balance and some weapons being overly used in some some consumables, for example the EMP mine being completely useless. um that kind of stuff, which is understandable, but also when it comes to actual FPS games, I do believe that the balance is much better and much more well balanced compared to a lot of other games, especially competitive ones, where you literally only see the same weapons over and over and it's only the same thing 24/7. I think this game has a fairly well balanced overall weaponry and sharking, I guess. It can still be improved. I'm assuming most people in here would want to see more maps, more cosmetics, and maybe more sharks and more weapons. I What I've seen the most is more cosmetics for when some of the newer sharks, which are like the blue. I think the which one was it? Yeah, the white tip as well. I've seen some people complain about not bull, copper. I've seen some people complain about lemon maybe. It's a tiger shark for sure. A lot of people complain. A lot of people want more tiger shark skin. Which, to be fair, it is understandable because like most of these look pretty meh. I guess this one looks super dope, but like I don't know if the chain has some sort of hitbox or anything. But yeah, that's some sort of announcement. I know a lot of people are not. The reason why I'm making this is like I was about to say like most content creators, like every single one of them no longer plays the game. For one, and for two, I know that Digital Confectioners, who made the game, used to never make any real trailers or anything or like big advertising, have community management and all that. And so that kind of played a big role into the downfall and not having too many people, which is realistically the only big issue with the game is they're not having enough people and not having enough frequent cosmetics and maps. That is legit it. That is all that there is to it because that is all that FPS games are. You have a good game, which is depth, among other games, among other FPSs. Every single time it's just a good game that has to have that that punch and cosmetic and like battle passes or like the events, whichever it is that people choose. It's just basically what the game needs, and there's not enough of that being put into the game, and it's realistically, objectively, the only real big issue. Again, I do not know what they're gonna do. with the game. I don't know when we'll be getting updates. I don't know what kind of updates we'll be getting. I have no clue. I don't know if some items will make a comeback eventually. I have no clue, man. All I know is I really just enjoy this game overall. We just need more players. We tend to have mostly EU hours, I guess, when it comes to getting matches. Most people we have like between an all time between 8 players all the way to like 35. I guess maybe on peak when Ammobox got the IP, maybe 50 players I've seen. But then it stops there. You know, there's no higher peak, which is crazy because it just needs more players. That's all it does. But I'm kind of trying to make this though. I'm making this video so it kind of hypes up everyone. That's basically what I'm doing here. Yeah, you should definitely play. You should definitely try it out. You should definitely buy it. If you don't have it, you can probably get it on a fairly low price on various websites. I don't really not tolerate but like respect that kind of like instant gaming and all that kind of jazz. I don't like it too much. Whenever I like a game, I pay the full price, but I don't buy mini games. But whenever I do like one, yeah, I'm completely okay with paying full price on it. I think $20 for a game that you can sink, haha, funny, thousands of hours into is very much worth doing. Especially because there's a lot of cosmetics. There's also a an extremely high skill ceiling, not as high as like Team Fortress 2 or like CS:GO or something, but it's very much up there. You need more hours to master this game than you need hours in like Overwatch or something. It is much more difficult, especially because it has a lot to do with the fact that this game is heavily vertical. It's like most FPS games. You just sidestep, you just left and right, and then go forward and backwards, and then that's it. You kind of just do that. But depth has that extra step where you're underwater, so you can go up and down as well, which makes the game extremely difficult. And also, you have such insane darkness; you cannot see anything. That makes this game extremely difficult to master, but also extremely rewarding and fun. That being said, if you are new to this and if you have not played the game in years or whichever reason it is, there's plenty of reasons for you not to know the game or not to have played it or like haven't played it in years. I have to say that as a player that has had this game since like the basically release dates, I have to say that compared to release dates, the only people remaining are either new players that have like 3 hours and that just install the game, play, leave after 8 hours because they get demolished, or like they can't find queue, they can't find queue or match or like anything. They can't play. They can't get into the game. That's one reason why you'd see like a lot of people enjoy the game, enter for like 3 hours, and then quit. And then the other half of the player base that there is the older kind of players, which are usually with thousands of games played on either Diver or Shark or both, all right, sometimes tens of thousands as well. And these guys, they might be nice, sometimes they're just kind of chill. They just kind of like balance the lives a little bit and just let you win slightly or like try to let you win, but not too much so that you can get better, but you also have hope so you don't instantly leave. So, there's some kind of people like that that do this. It does exist, which is extremely nice of those. We don't talk about it enough, but it's very sweet. But most of these higher level players, they just have, again, thousands of hours into the game, and they just have no mercy, and they just slash through your sharks, or like if they're sharks, they just ram through everyone and eat the whole diver team, and you end up with like no divers left against 25 sharks left, which is, yeah, frustrating to say the least. The only real issue again that there is with this game is one, the UI. For example, there's a lot of stuff like this, like there's phrases and words that kind of just go above and beyond the boxes, you know. And there's some boxes, for example, that when you very click on them, you don't have any previews of the actual items that you get in it. You know, sometimes you do like this, but sometimes you don't. Actually, you do there. Okay, there you go. You don't hear. You don't see anything. You don't even see all the things. You see three items, and that's it. There's much more in there. But yeah, also you don't even see the actual current remix chest that it is, because for example, this is an older one. You don't get this anymore. However, you get the other ones, which are much further away. Might be this one. Yeah, this is this one. This one is the current event. You know, there's no date on it, so you can't really tell. That's one of the issues. It's, again, in general, the UI that's kind of messed up sometimes. Maybe sometimes like uh, login issues, like crashing, or like lobby issues, like being kicked out of your own party, for example, and then having to quit the game and relaunch again just to join the same match. That's one issue. And then the third issue is maybe the slight lack of balance. But the real big issue of this game is just the lack of players, man. So you know, if you are thinking about coming back, if you missed this game in any way, honestly, feel free to join, because you know it's a lot of fun. We also have a few Discord servers and a few regular players that kind of just enjoy the game at specific hours. So if you want to join these people, we often lack like one or two players, or maybe sometimes more. So you know, there's never enough players. Is what I'm saying, because usually, you know, it's four divers and two sharks usually on the main game mode. So you know, you need six players for each game. And if you have like, I don't know, 16 players, you kind of like stuck. There's a lot of people that are in queue and they're stuck because they need two more players. And also, there's a lot of people that want to play shark and not diver, and so you know, there's a lot of people that queue for hours or like 30 minutes or even more, and they're just kind of stuck because they cannot find a match. Additionally, you know, there's all these older game modes that no one's playing, which is very sad because, like, honestly, all these are fun. They're super fun. This one actually I haven't tried yet. Like, I didn't get to try it ever. But these three, like, definitely play this. If not, get your friends in it. It's super fun. There's like, you know, there's plenty of games that you could play that are FPSs, but depth is just like one step further, I guess. But yeah, I guess this is it. This is what I had to say. Like, Ammobox has gotten the IP. If you check out on the Steam Market page, it's not available yet. You cannot see. Oh, yes, it is just now. Okay. Okay. So a few days ago, it wasn't the case, but now it is. Uh, Ammobox definitely currently owns the game, and so they have another game, which is how is it? Well, what is it called exactly? I forgot. Uh, Eximius or something. Yes, this is it. Eximius. This is their second game, which is, I mean, their first game, I guess. But yeah, that's it. That's it, guys. You know, they are making updates for sure. Sometime eventually, it takes some time because they also gotta like read the code and everything. They gotta get used to everything. They have talked about adding new events. They talked about adding new shark skins. I mean, they briefly mentioned that. They didn't necessarily mention adding new sharks and new weapons. They mentioned balance a little bit. Mostly players did mention balance, I guess. But they have said that they would rather only make changes based on the feedback that players give, instead of, you know, making what they really wanted to make, which is extremely sweet. And if it does happen this way, then, you know, depth might become great again. So hopefully this happens. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and please get into this game. Thank you. Goodbye.